Minecraft is one of, if not the most modular game ever created, and in its time, players have come up with oodles of ways to beat the final boss, the Ender Dragon. So I'll be showing you not one, but 3 different ways each so that you can decide for yourself which way you think fits best for you and your playstyle, whether that be fast, fun, or just plain game-breaking, as well as some absolutely essential tips and tricks, including one that just might save your hide and all your items, so make sure to stay tuned till the end. Our first strategy is rather creatively called as Mojang intended. See, there's no right way to do things in Minecraft. It's honestly one of the best things about the game. But what if what you want is the true, quote-unquote, authentic Minecraft experience? We have this, and I'd recommend everyone do it this way at least once, just because it's a fun challenge and test of skill. It's going to take a lot of prep, so before you scamper off to the sweet call of a silverfish-infested stronghold, remember to pack the following to make sure your dragon-slaying side quest doesn't take too long, or too many deaths. First, you'll need projectiles. The towers around the Ender Dragon each hold an end crystal on them, which you're going to need to destroy all of unless you want this fight to be a truly Sisyphean task. Thankfully, end crystals are fragile as heck and explode at the lightest touch, so make sure to pack extra arrows, or if you want to conserve that precious flint, an infinity bow. Just watch out for cage crystals, as they're a bit harder to shoot down without taking damage, since you'll need to either break the bars around them first, or get the arrow shot just right underneath them. You'll also need a lot of blocks if you plan to bridge up to the towers, but remember to keep an eye on the dragon unless you want a face full of wings or breath attack. You can also use a water bucket, but I find this is significantly slower unless you're really good at it. Once the crystals are dealt with, you'll have a few options. When the dragon is flying around, you'll want to pelt it with as many arrows as you can. The towers can be helpful at this if you need a better vantage point, but it will put you in a slightly less defensible position to deal with the dragon's knockback. You also won't be able to only use a bow for this. Every so often, the dragon will swoop down to the middle, and it will perch. During this time, it will be completely impervious to ranged attacks. Instead, you'll need to get in close for a few hits with an axe or sword. You'll do a fair amount of damage this way, and can knock a sizable portion of its health in a single perch cycle if you're diligent. Essentially, you just rinse and repeat this, and you've got one dead dragon under your belt. There are a few more tricks that you can use to make this smoother and less deadly, but we'll get to that later in the video. Next is one cycling. This is the other side of the coin. If all you want is speed and don't care much about the flavor to your attacks, then something called one cycling might just be up your alley. It's a trick speedrunners use, which should be a testament to its effectiveness if you just want the thing dead as a doornail. The basic idea is to use the fact that beds explode when clicked on in the nether, and more importantly for us, the end, to point-blank explosion murder the Ender Dragon when it perches on the conveniently explosion-proof bedrock portal frame centered to the island. All you need is some blast-resistant blocks and beds, a lot of beds. Simply place the blocks like so, and then spam your fluffy sleep implements, and your position underneath the bed and blocks should prevent you from taking any damage. Meanwhile, your enemy gets a face full of boom. This one is kind of tricky to get right at first because it involves a lot of timing, so I'd recommend starting up a creative world to practice before you risk that sweet, sweet netherite set you spent hours painstakingly grinding for, to the cruel whims of intentional game design. But once you get the hang of it, this is perhaps the best method you could use in terms of pure speed if that's what you're going for. Our third strategy is called the Water Trap of Infinite Doom. Remember when I said one of the strategies I'd be showing you was game-breaking? Well, that's this one, the water trap. And it's what you'll want to do if you ever feel like most efficiently revive and kill the last member of a species over and over and over again for the sake of XP, or maybe you just want to munchkin game mechanics. Who am I to judge? You'll need a good 5 stacks of blocks, a piece of obsidian, and a water bucket. To work, you can't move from the block you originally spawn in when you first enter the end. You need to pillar up to Y145. You'll be able to see your coordinate by pressing F3 or sometimes FN F3 on some computers. Bridge towards the portal frame with exactly 99 blocks. Next, place the obsidian, remove the block connecting it to the bridge, and place the water on top of the obsidian. Then just wait for the ender dragon to poach. I'll tell you how to speed this up later because it can take some time. And well, it's not exactly going anywhere. Once you've got the ender dragon caught in its own glitchy flailing, all it takes is some arrows, and you don't even have to bother with the crystals. Just XP and eggs for days. One egg. Egg for day? Or would that be eggs for the day? Moving on, here are some tricks to make all of these overarching strategies marginally easier for you. For instance, if you have a bunch of phantom membranes floating around your chests, it might be worth brewing up some potions of slow falling, since the knockback from the dragon's attacks is so terminal that even feather falling 3 won't fully negate it. If brewing isn't your thing, or even if it is, then I have 2 words for you. Water bucket, water bucket, water bucket, bring a diddly darn water bucket! An MLG at the right time just might save you and all your items. And if you have a lot of spare iron, it's just a good idea to cover the floor with an anti-fall damage field, and to keep away all those pesky endermen. Speaking of resources, if you're feeling a bit light in the arrow department, end crystals will explode from any projectile in the game, so any snowballs gathering dust might just have a new use. And if you're feeling a bit spicy, try beating the ender dragon through the power of chicken eggs. And if you're having trouble dealing with the dragon's breath, a few empty bottles can dissipate the field of murder magic and leave you with use for the remains of all those potions you drank, as well as giving you some dragon's breath as a bonus. Remember to bring torches for that pesky dragon egg, and if that video was any help, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsubscribe later. Bye!